I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to understand more about the Orange Economy Committee. I am the current president of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Kiran Maharaj, and I'm also board champion for this newly formed committee. So the Orange Economy is a term that was coined by the Inter-American Development Bank, which really sought to categorize the sector of creative industries in the world, but not just creative, anything that had to do with what I like to deem the imagination. So yes, the creative arts sector, but things like tourism, culinary skills, intellectual property, gaming and game coding, all of that falls into the orange economy. It's really an untapped sector in Latin America and the Caribbean. And for Trinidad and Tobago to position itself more strongly in this sector, and for the chamber, as the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, the voice of business, to be able to ensure that the infrastructure is properly developed for the growth and development of this sector, we found that a committee advocating for the necessary was very important. So the function of the committee is to not just make recommendations to government and other stakeholders for what is necessary to move the industry forward, but what we also do is we encourage businesses and individuals and independents involved in that space to become members to benefit from some of the capacity building that we're going to be doing. The committee will have 14 committee members as well as an advisory council. And our advisory council will comprise of individuals who are not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but who are in the orange economy space in other parts of the world, because they will help bring best practices. And a lot of what the committee will be doing is to, as I said, upskill all of those people involved in this industry. So that may be through training programs. Some of those will be offered free to our members. It can be with regards to brainstorming as to what projects we can work on and how we can get government and other entities involved. We will also look at possible grant opportunities with funders, not just regionally, but internationally, who can support some of the projects that our Orange Economy members wish to take advantage of. And it's also about looking at making recommendations both on the legislative and economic side. Because as with any business, we have to work within a certain environment, and we think that there is definitely ample space to help shape that environment by having the Orange Economy Committee. So this will probably happen, the promotion of the Orange Economy Committee among the members and non-members via our social media feeds. So if you are listening to this recording, it's a very good idea to follow our social media feeds, and please look at our website regularly. The other way will be through word of mouth and through our possible partnerships and alliances with projects and other conferences and discussions in the orange economy space. And in terms of being able to attend, all of that information will be there. But if you want to learn more about it, I think the website is the best place to go, and you will find all of the information. Yes, we're looking at doing some upcoming sessions on the business of the orange economy. So we'll be looking at these virtual sessions and some in person that's going to teach people about the business of music, film, fashion, entertainment generally, tourism. So the first step for us is to build a foundation so everybody gets on the same page with regard to what is the foundation we need to lay and where does everybody need to be. And those sessions are not specifically for creatives, while creatives are involved. These are for business people, and I think that's the most important point I want to make, Ria, in that as business people, we already have a unique skill set. And a lot of these skills can be applied to sectors in the or services in the orange economy that exist, but we just call them different things. So for instance, if you're an events manager, you have the skill set to be a line producer in film. That's a typical example. We want people who are involved in the accounting and auditing space to understand film finance. And because with film finance, it's very similar to how you run regular business operations, but there are also a few little tweaks to it with regards to how you treat some of the line items in your budget. But somebody who is an accountant or an auditor, film finance would be a great place for them to fit into. The orange economy has been fully established. We had our first meeting of the committee in October 2023, and there'll be monthly meetings. But apart from those monthly meetings, we will have ongoing correspondence and discussion via email and a WhatsApp group among committee members. So my best advice to anybody who wants to be more involved is to please keep looking at the Chamber's social media feeds. And if you have any ideas or suggestions, you should definitely email them to our committee's coordinator, Claudia, and also to the CEO, Stephen. And they are the best ones because they bring all of the information to the committee meetings, are in touch with the committee members regularly. One of the greatest things about Trinidad and Tobago is not just the resilience of our people, but the imagination and the spirit of vibrance that we are imbued with. And I think that the Orange Economy Committee is going to allow that to flow, but for us to develop in a way that we can benefit not just for each other, but as a country and a nation. It also is an area of the economy that allows youth involvement, which many of us are very passionate about. And I think that being part of this economy is going to allow the real spirit of not just entrepreneurship, but the spirit of creativity to flow through, but to develop Trinidad and Tobago in a whole new sector that is not oil and gas, but that comes from the heart of our people.